Hello, welcome to Productions MJC.
Everybody nowadays is doing their I'm bored out of my mind, what can I do just to pass the time video. And here is mine. I got these P40 cameras and they've got pretty good resolution. Problem is they don't aim down. They've got a 50-degree angle up. They don't really aim down, they aim straight ahead. So pain in the hiney. They're really not a tabletop camera. They are meant to be a ceiling camera because you don't want to look at your ceiling, so you hang them from the ceiling or something like that, and you look down towards the room and such. Well, I had gotten quite miffed at the people that made these, told them what I thought of them, but now that I've got them, I got to do something with them. Well, in my garage, one is going to hang upside down and just, cover the garage, watch to see if when people get in there, it'll have a motion sense on it and stuff like that. The other one will be for the front room, but I've been using it, angled it down at about 15 degrees, just scotch tape to a piece of wood during the winter. What could I do? Well, what I've done, I've devised a little handy, I've got this little saw. Not everybody has a big fancy bandsaw. They don't have parts and everything. This saw actually has a handy 45 and a 90. So what I did was, in order to get those 45s, not ultra precise, no, but what I did was I simply laid a piece of wood this way, laid a piece of wood that way, and obviously this was extended out here, and I just basically trued them up, lined them up, marked the 45, chopped it, voila, we'll make it work. We'll party with that and we'll make it work. But what I'm going to do is try to make something for the front room that, no, it's going to be ultra, and these are just scrounged parts. All I could find was these two and that one brass screw. So these are just going to be scrounged parts together to make me something so I can put this other camera on my mantelpiece. And the next part is I'm taking basically the screwdriver, putting it through until it pokes out a little bit on the other side, then I'll flip the piece of wood over and send it through again so that you can have a little bit of, it doesn't split the wood, have a little bit of leeway in that. But that so far, I'm just going to show you that that's what I got going so far. Let me get to it. And now this is my phone, so I don't have a way to just hold it and show you, and besides you'd be bored to death anyway, just like I am. Now what I've done is I've sent it through till it's peeking through the other side, then I'll back it out and send it back down through the other way. So I don't mar the countertop, I am simply just plopping it over there, screwing it down, about ready to match them up and start on the next portion. In order to get a nice flush fit, what I will do is just plop this Phillips screwdriver in here and just make a countersink. I'll countersink that one just a little bit more, but I think that one has just the right depth and everything else, and that's just done by a Phillips screwdriver. To make that countersink hole a little wider, as I reamed out the wood, what I would do was simply rotate that around a little bit as I was doing the wood, just to get it to make that countersink hole just a little bit bigger. Okay, that looks pretty good. That will actually be the bottom. The part up there broke, but that's no big deal because we're going to work with that too. We're going to change that just a little bit. I have just a little bit of a rough edge on this piece, so what I'm going to do is simply slide it back and forth along my cement porch and sand it. I wanted to find the center of this board, so corner to corner, so I could see where the center was. Okay, I sent a screw through, scratched it, marked it, countersunk nicely, works great, and let's get on to the next side. Okay, that side also countersunk quite nicely, and what I'm going to do is just take the saw and cut that off. Okay, there we go. Project's coming along nicely. Looks, very rough, very raw, but it will be practical and it will serve a purpose. I realized that two things. I didn't need as long a board as I had, so cut it off. Plus, in order to keep it from splitting, because the only screw I could find was rather large. So what I've done is I'm just boring the hole out with this screwdriver that Phillips screwdriver is creating the hole so that monster won't split the wood. And again, using the same countersink method of rotating that around as I'm, chewing wood out of there. So, yeah, just countersinking countersinking just like that, just simply using the Phillips head at an angle and just chewing out a little bit of wood, because let's face it, all of us can't afford countersinking bits and all that happy junk, especially when we're just trying to keep from going stir crazy. Obviously not perfect, but hey, for the tools at hand, I think I did a pretty darn good job. And it should pull it down a little bit when I sink it into the wood. I think that's pretty good. I took a piece of wood, experimented with it, and it's just a little test jig that I did to determine what angle I would need so that when that thing was anchored into place, the power cord wouldn't go directly behind. And I thought, that worked out pretty good right there. Okay, so I marked the screw with this, and then I cut it. I actually had some lineman pliers, so I chopped it up and made it shorter so it won't stick out the top. Okay, there's my little project, and of course, you hang it upside down, and I'll get it popped on there. And there you go. Of course, since this stupid camera is meant to hang upside down, if you're sitting it up on a mantle of a fireplace or even on a table in order to see everywhere else, it's really meant to be hung upside down. So there you go. We'll just call this a rustic build for, just scrap wood, stuff like that. And there we go. Now the dumb camera will function properly.
Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been Productions MJC.